Hi there, this is Declan Conlon, mindfulness and life coach. This is a little pod blog on judging and non-judging. It's one of the mindfulness attitudes to life. And really, I suppose the reason for these little blogs is to pass on to you stuff that I have to keep checking myself for. So the purpose of this isn't to preach to you and that, it's just to share with you how a mindful attitude to life under a number of headings can really be beneficial for us in so many ways. As we go through life, we have expectations and assumptions about how we think things should be and how we see the world. And of course, often things are not the way we want them to be, and the world isn't always the way we would like it to be. Life doesn't always turn out for us as we would expect, and people don't always behave as we would like and as we would expect, and that's just normal. We ourselves don't always turn out as we expect, and we don't always behave as we expect. So we have a tendency to judge ourselves, we judge other people, and we judge things and events that we encounter. And sometimes we make these judgments with, ill-informed or unreasonable expectations and assumptions, often perhaps without full knowledge of the facts. And maybe we don't have all the information that is accurate, and it could be just based on something that we have heard from somebody else or we've read somewhere. So, as humans, we do have a tendency towards negative thoughts rather than positive ones. That's just human. And of course, then that in turn means we have a tendency towards negative judgments. So, our judgment of ourselves and of others can be harsh, it can be critical, it can be ill-informed, not compassionate, impatient, closed-minded, and all those different things. And of course, when we're like that, then these judgments can have a lot of very adverse effects. We can hurt ourselves and we can hurt others. We can create negative emotions and thoughts and generate rumination and anxiety. We can destroy our own and other people's confidence as well by negative judgment. And often it can happen that we could destroy a relationship, a friendship, and we can maybe miss out on really opportunities in life. I'm sure when you reflect on this, you'll probably be able to identify examples in your own life where the above or something like the above have happened to some degree or some extent with yourself. And maybe just to throw in a few examples of negative self-judgment could be things like saying, I'm not good enough, nobody likes me, I'm a failure, I will never get that promotion, that person will never love me, people don't like me, and so on. And when we make these type of judgments of ourselves, they probably stop us trying out things, new opportunities, new people, because we generate an internal fear within ourselves from our own negative self-judgment, and we lose our confidence. And we often judge other people, as being bad, or we don't like them, or whatever, just because they maybe have a different set of values or beliefs and views of the world than us. We often judge people that we've never met, or we don't know them very well, based on little information other than maybe somebody else's opinion of them, or somebody else has written something about them, and maybe even you just don't like the look of them for some reason and you're judging them on that basis. We have a tendency to judge people, for example, in public jobs, expecting them to be perfect and make no mistakes and perform everything exactly the way we think they should, without knowing all of the information and facts about what they're doing. And all of this can lead us to be in a very negative state of mind about ourselves, other people, events, and the world about us in general. We can just have a general negative disposition. And without realizing it, and we can become aware that we are almost addicted to negative judgment and criticism, which can lead, of course, to a lot of stress, anxiety, rumination for ourselves, and indeed, of course, our judgment and other people's judgments affects the world. We all affect each other when we judge. But of course, the reality is that you, other people, and the world are not perfect. We all see the world through a different lens or a different window, have a different view of the world. So how can we stop this type of negative type of judgment and practice what we call in mindfulness non-judgment? Non-judgmental awareness is what it's called. Of course, the first thing in any type of change is you have to become aware that you're doing something, and you have to accept that you're doing it. And that is the first step in any change. So you have to accept, because you're human, that you will be judging, but you should try and reduce it. And just notice when you're dropping into a judging frame of mind. And, acceptance is a really powerful antidote to judgment as well, because when we accept that there are many things in life and the world that we cannot change and let go of judging them, that nothing will ever be exactly the way we want them to be, and the best strategy is to work with what is here now and make the best of it. And that's not giving in or letting people walk all over you, but there are certain realities in life that we have to take account of. It's also useful to have an attitude of mindful beginner's mind, where we look at things with fresh eyes and fresh thinking, to stop us being stuck in the one way of viewing things and thinking about things. Can eliminate us being very judgmental all the time. The purpose of this little pod blog is to make you and me and all of us aware of judging and try and practice judging less and be more non-judging. So as you go through each day and each week, just check in with yourself and see how judgmental you are and see how you can reduce it as much as possible. We are fed a diet of negative news and commentary by the media, social media, and other negative judgmental people. We need to be aware of this and form our own views and opinions based on facts, and let go of those negative judgmental people in our lives, because all they're doing is dragging us down and holding us back. Our attitude to life is really important and contributes to our happiness and flourishing. It is something that we have, in the first instance, be aware of, and then be continually checking in with ourselves to stop or try and stop doing it. So that's the end of this little pod blog. I hope you've found it useful. I'll be doing the next one on non-striving, but for the moment, the first ones I've done have been on acceptance and letting go and non-judging. And as you can see, there even is a link between acceptance and letting go and non-judging. All of the mindful attitudes are linked. They're separate, but they're also linked. So they're a very, very useful way of managing ourselves and our lives and our happiness. So take care, and I'll talk to you again soon.